Greetings, friends of the universe. Today we're going to talk about the extraterrestrial human hybrids, the new race of hybrid alien children, and the human abduction and hybridization project. Let's start. Extraterrestrials, known as alien-human hybrids, are created through processes and procedures that occur during and after the abduction of humans by extraterrestrial races and advanced intelligences. Many, but not all hybrid beings are a biological combination between humans and what we believe to be extraterrestrials and advanced intelligences. However, their creation is not limited to the combination of only two species' DNA. In other words, they most likely have more than two parents. The term transgenic beings was officially put forward by abduction researcher Bud Hopkins in his 2003 book entitled Sight Unseen to describe these types of new beings. Transgenic beings are created from the process called transgenesis. It is the process of introducing an exogenous gene, called a transgene, into a living organism so that the organism will exhibit a new property and transmit that property to its offspring. Transgenesis can be facilitated by liposomes, plasmid vectors, viral vectors, pronuclear injection, protoplast fusion, and ballistic DNA injection. Transgenic organisms are able to express foreign genes because the genetic code is similar for all organisms. It is our belief that not only are hybrids transgenically created beings, so too are abductee experiencers, which is why certain familial lines are targeted and used by the beings. It has also been hypothesized and even proven that all humans contain alien DNA, which might mean all or most of humanity is a transgenic species. This would explain why certain extraterrestrials find us such a valuable commodity to them. They may only require specific types of alien DNA compatible to their particular species, which is why not everyone on our planet is abducted, contacted, or visited. This would explain why scientists suspect the 97% non-coding sequences in human DNA, which we consider as junk DNA, is no less than a genetic code of extraterrestrial life forms. On the other hand, if only specific familial lines are targeted, it is likely these lines were the latest to have the transgenes introduced into their genetic code, approximately 70 years ago, at the beginning of what we are calling the modern era of abductions. Of course, we believe this is not the first time this process has occurred to what we currently refer to as the human race, and it remains to be seen if it will be the last time this process occurs. Although some might consider his hypothesis radical, it is actually quite logical when you study the accounts from the abductee experiencers themselves. Here are a few quite pertinent examples quoted by alien abductees. This is what they said. She informed me, while looking at a DNA chart of some type, that I was very special to them. She said, "Many people carry the genetic marker we are looking for, but your body can create the actual gene. Your body produces the equivalent of gold for us." It cannot be more transparent as to what they are taking and using from this particular abductee experiencer. A disturbing twist to this case is that the scientist looked completely human, and there was also what appeared to be a human extraterrestrial hybrid in the same room. Was this an extraterrestrial experience, or did it involve human abductors, or did it involve alien humans? Could it have involved all three? We may never know with certainty. Angie was shown a clone infant, as well as 9 hybrid tots, and was told they would be used to prepare humans for the changes. In this case, we believe the preparation Angie was told is being undertaken is not so humans can psychologically adapt to a future alien presence on our planet, but because humans are being physically, genetically altered. They are very clearly referring to a change within humanity itself. Another example is after being shown a dying extraterrestrial infant, the abductee stated, This being told me that everyone there, a group of abductee experiencers of various different races, had to have their blood tested because they were looking for something very specific that they needed from us. Each time you come here, you will give us life, a little at a time. The physical characteristics of hybrids vary nearly as greatly as those of their human and extraterrestrial parents. In a general sense, alien hybrids normally have no hair, very sparse hair, blonde, black, or very dark hair. The black or dark hair seen on some hybrids may or may not be wigs, as both real hair and wigs have been described by people who have interacted with them. To our knowledge, hybrids with hair possessing the genetic properties of afro-textured hair, or types 4A and 4B, are very rare. We have only 2 reports of this, one with black-colored hair and the other with very white hair. In both instances, the hair was described as very short. Unfortunately, the subjects also believed a screen image was being projected by the beings, so it is difficult to know whether their hair was real or not. Oddly, hybrids with extremely red-orange hair are also reported, although not often. Examples of beings with red-orange hair are the Peter Cowrie case, the case of AJ's female and male white-skinned hybrids, accounts from Joe and Linda Montaldo regarding what they refer to as the red-headed hybrid, and one other abductee experiencer from US who wants to remain anonymous. Sometimes, hybrids appear to be naked, but they most likely are wearing a skin-tight bodysuit, or what has been hypothesized to be a type of film over their skin that acts as a protective covering. In a few cases, such as David Huggins, a vivid blue, long dress or robe-like garment is worn by the females. Other times, their clothing appears very simple and smock-like, in fabrics of pale colors. Males almost always wear fitted bodysuit attire, sometimes appearing more terrestrial and suit-like, but tighter than a typical man's suit. They are also reported as wearing jumpsuit or flight suit type attire in the colors tan, brown, army green, and black. On the other hand, when hybrids are reported to be seen in public, they are dressed as much as human as possible, but there is almost always something concealing their eyes and their heads, and they are often suspected of wearing wigs. These reports remain controversial, but from our research, they do occur, albeit not as often as one might hear about our politicians or members of the royal family shape-shifting into reptilians. Accounts of hybrids being seen in public were published by Bud Hopkins and Carol Rainey in Sight Unseen and mentioned in presentations by Mary Rodwell and Dr. David Jacobs. One less popularized account of hybrids being seen in public is a resident of Germany. Their 1991 encounter involved seeing a blonde Nordic or a blonde hybrid male in a grocery store in Hamburg who spoke to them telepathically. Here is the story. I had my first experience with what I believed to be a blonde being. It was not during the night and not while I was sleeping, but rather during the daytime. I was in a grocery store looking for some food to purchase for my family, and I suddenly realized that a blonde man had his gaze fixed upon me. He did not just look at me. His eyes were fixed on me, as if he were looking into me. It felt as if he knew my deepest thoughts and knew all of my emotions and everything I had experienced during my entire life. First, I felt fear. A terrible fear. At that time, I did not know anything about alien beings, or that people were having contact with them, or other unknown creatures. Also, at that time, this blonde looked like a human being. However, certain things about his appearance were abnormal. He did not move like a normal human being. The best way I can describe his movements is to say he moved in a robotic fashion. His eyes looked and looked at me. I wanted to run away, but I could not move. He continued to stare at me, and after some minutes, my fear changed to a different emotion. It is not easy to explain, but this new emotion I experienced was peaceful and loving. I was astonished, and I asked myself, Who is this man? To my surprise, I received an answer inside my head, in the middle of my brain. Someone who knows you. This leads us to the role certain hybrids carry out. There is a distinct difference in the way adult hybrids and child hybrids interact with humans. Just as the behavior of human adults are different from human children, the same can be said regarding hybrids. The first half of this document will focus on adult hybrids, and we will end with child hybrids, who are more human-like than their adult hybrid relatives and caretakers. There are hybrids, usually one or two, who seem to be assigned to abductees, beginning in their early childhood and continuing throughout most of their adult life. Dr. David Jacobs has termed these particular beings as personal project hybrids. For female experiencers, there are male hybrids who carry out this role, and for male experiencers, there are female hybrids. Although he appeared to be a blonde Nordic, the being encountered in the grocery store may have actually been a personal hybrid, or perhaps there are beings of different species assigned to specific abductee experiencers for various reasons. In any case, he was following her, and he telepathically responded, "Someone who knows you," after she asked him who he was. After she was interrupted by another shopper at the store and looked back at him, he had disappeared. These unusual relationships with hybrids can continue for many years, sometimes for the entire life of the abductee experiencer. Some people characterize their behavior as caring and fatherly or motherly, or as a lover, whilst others describe these relationships as a form of control and involving what in most human cultures would be considered rape, since sexual intercourse almost always occurs during them. It is believed these relationships are established for teaching, learning, and control purposes, which in some cases appear to include threats and sometimes even emotional abuse. On the other hand, there are also experiencers who describe these relationships as loving, and they feel they are beneficial physically, and some people feel they are psychically connected to their personal hybrids. Alien sex is not as much fun as the debunkers would have everyone think it is, probably because debunkers are unable to differentiate between sex and lovemaking, which explains why they are such frustrated individuals. Often abductee experiencers will remember having sexual intercourse with very human-appearing beings with all of the lovely physical attributes a man or woman could desire. Many times, these apparent humans are really much more alien in appearance, and in fact, some turn out to be completely extraterrestrial or even mechanical. What this means is whilst the abductee experiencer believes they are having sexual intercourse with another human or a human-appearing hybrid, which often does take place with advanced stage hybrids, many times they are actually experiencing a mentally imposed screen image by the other attending extraterrestrials. This is accomplished through a process Dr. Jacobs terms mind scan. Other people refer to this process as a download of telepathic images, screen images, and screen memories. When we speak of mechanical, we are indicating the experiencer, normally a male, is undergoing a forced semen extraction by the utilization of a mechanical device. This is not too dissimilar from the way humans treat animals, such as bulls in a herd they might own, and with which they are propagating a particular genetic line. This is seemingly the state of affairs at which some humans may be finding themselves today. Some abductee experiencers who have gone public, most notably Jim Sparks, David Huggins, and Joe Montaldo, and have stated this is exactly what is occurring. They need human DNA, and whilst some aliens care about us and do not harm us, there is a distinct feeling that we belong to some of them on some other level. Although this does occur quite often, not all extraterrestrials or advanced intelligences treat or use humans in this manner, but this would require examination in a type of extraterrestrial case-by-case manner. If you are an abductee experiencer who is having contact with several different types of aliens, then you most likely know or are figuring out which ones are doing what to you or with you and how you are involved. If you do not, we hope this information is proving to be helpful and in a non-traumatic fashion. It is a well-documented fact that in the early stages of the hybrid program, many alien-human hybrid infants either did not survive or struggled greatly to survive. They required contact comfort, which is the physical touching, loving, and caressing that many mammals, including humans, need in order to survive and to develop normally, both physically and emotionally. Today, it appears there has been more success with the hybrid program, and it is more than likely approaching an apex. We know they still require certain humans in order to survive, so it is likely that alien contact will continue for quite some time, or at least for as long as certain beings are still around who require human DNA. In the case of David Huggins, although he has aged normally as a human, Crescent has not appeared to age at all, which tells us she either ages quite well, she has been cloned, or she has a much longer lifespan than that of humans, which may or may not be attributable to DNA extraction and manipulation from the general pool of abductee experiencers, most probably David Huggins himself. In the case of AJ, of their two personal hybrids, the blonde did not appear to age, whilst the one referred to as the doctor did appear to age, in fact going so far as telling AJ that he was dying. He had apparently lost most of his vision and behaved in an emotional fashion at the prospect of losing his life. Curiously, another abductee experiencer contacted us and said they saw him during one of their abductions and they did not seem to think he was dying, having appeared the same as he always did. The aging and dying narrative may have been used as a means of separation from AJ, as he, a personal hybrid, an extraterrestrial hybrid physician, was needed to tend to other experiencers. Cases have been shared that tell us healthy alien hybrids may live for a very long time. We do not know if these are alien-human hybrids, but some of them appear to be quite human in their appearance. Some accounts of their lifespans are approximately 300 years. We do not know if those are years as measured here on Earth, or in their world, dimension, or wherever they may be. Another very curious thing is these hybrids appeared to be children, or at least had childlike bodies, so we know their appearances can be quite deceiving. For example, when one abductee experiencer reported to us that he had seen a blonde child hybrid, he heard another male nearby say to him, "Don't let his appearance fool you, this one is 300 years old." One final note on this topic is Joe Montaldo's red-headed hybrid, who also has not appeared to age over many years, during which several other abductee experiencers have reportedly interacted with him. He sometimes performs the role of doctor, and some have speculated that he is involved with abductions of alien abductees by militaristic-looking humans. Montaldo oftentimes speaks about this hybrid during radio interviews with other abductee experiencers on his UFO Paranormal Radio Network and UFO Undercover Radio programs. After decades of trying to make sense of the overall contact phenomenon and combining all of the information we can obtain from non-channeled sources, as far as we can make out, it seems that nearly all of the different physical types of extraterrestrials and advanced intelligences coming to Earth require something from us or from our planet, or both, with the earlier discussion about transgenics playing a pivotal role. The information collected from abductee experiencers and the people who have studied this subject and their accounts thus far has indicated they are coming here for one or all of the following reasons. 1. Transgenic engineering, DNA harvesting and manipulation, and consciousness psychosociological studies. 2. Things or beings, minerals, metals, plants, and animals from our planet. 3. Galactic diplomacy. One of the messages we have been receiving from the designers or creators of the hybrid program is that humanity will one day be introduced to their hybrid offspring, their hybrid children. Whether we understand their true purpose or not, it does seem that we will eventually meet them, unless this is another extraterrestrial ploy, much like their warnings of an impending cataclysm on Earth. Those, thankfully, have not panned out during our lifetimes, and hopefully they never will. Connecting with the hybrid children may occur during the disclosure process, or it could be the result of another completely different event that will allow them to come here in an overt fashion. There are many who perhaps correctly say the disclosure will never happen because of the overall mentality of current humans, and that may indeed be true. If so, this meeting between the hybrid children and their parents will occur elsewhere, or when the humans who are unable to adapt to the hybrid extraterrestrial presence are no longer on Earth. In any case, the hybrid children and their parent abductee experiencers will be both the channel and the connection that links humans with advanced intelligences. Here are a few references regarding this pivotal upcoming event from alien abductees. Angie was shown a clone infant, as well as 9 hybrid tots, and was told they would be used to prepare humans for the changes. I was told telepathically that we have to foster the alien children, for they shall be revealed. Our 5th-dimensional world is going to merge and coexist with your 4th-dimensional world. The hybrid children are all part of the merging process. For a long time, I had dreams about seeing dead people, and sometimes these dead people would transform into the little grays, and this always shocked me. I have tried to understand what this means, and whenever I concentrate on this dream, I get the same answer. A connection or union between the dimensions is coming. We have been told there will be changes and a merging, a connection between dimensions. Their presence, when made known in our physical Earth-based reality, will be a revelation. In other words, disclosure, exposure, surprise, and shock. How the new race might appear. The girl with the golden eyes was seen amongst a group of other experiencers in the middle decade of 2000. She was being fitted with what were termed eye coverings by an adult hybrid scientist, according to the experiencer who spoke with her. Curiously, the eye coverings were worn in order to make her eyes appear blue and more human-like. These may be what we refer to as the new humans. Hybrids who can feel and express empathy for others are intelligently gifted and have much longer lifespans than humans. Those who encompass the best of our species and their species. Empathy appears to be a very important trait to the beings involved in their creation. In 2012, an accounting of what appeared to be a 5-month-old hybrid child who had the ability to express empathy for another child. This act and achievement meant a great deal to the beings involved in this particular hybrid's creation. Since we are quite confident that some of the hybrids appear more childlike than they truly are, and possibly have longer lifespans than humans, the 5-month-old child could have in reality been much older. In any case, the ability for their children to express empathy for others appears to be of exceptional importance to them. Many of the hybrid children appear to want to be with their human parents. Some are rightfully afraid of humans, but many want to be with them here, or want their human parents with them. We do not know precisely where they are living or existing now. Some have been described to be living in squalid and dark environments, and others appear to be well cared for. They could be in another dimension. Some could be living on board their craft, or in bases here on Earth, or perhaps even on our moon, and deep within our oceans, in structures most humans would never have knowledge or access to. All we know for certain is they are out there, or already here. If you are experiencing contact, we hope this video is helpful and in a non-traumatic way. Even good or exciting events in our lives can cause stress, which is called eustress or good stress. It is the psychological and physical response we get when we achieve something difficult. Living with contact is stressful and at times difficult, but at times it can also be eustressful when we wake up a new day and know we are stronger, or at least are enduring and are making progress in our search for the truth. We encourage you to seek knowledge and help educate others about the contact that is occurring on our planet. Thank you for watching. Please give us a like and don't forget to subscribe.